India has finally got more nuclear weapons than Pakistan. The world's fourth biggest military power, India, now has 172 nuclear weapons compared to bankrupt and extremist Pakistan, which has 170. However, China continues to be the biggest regional and global security threat, increasing its nuclear stockpile to 500 warheads, dwarfing India's 172. Among the leading global powers, China leads with 5,580 nukes, closely followed by United States with 5,044 nuclear warheads. China has 500 with plans to reach 1,500 by 2035. France is fourth at 290 with UK fifth at 225. India is marginally ahead of its arch-rival Pakistan, which has 170. Secretly, Israel is estimated to possess 90 nuclear warheads, while Kim Jong-un's North Korea also boasts 50 nukes. The details have been revealed in a report by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, or SIPRI, on the 17th of June this year. The impact of nuclear weapons on a nation's security cannot be undermined. In today's world, no one would dare to attack another country which has a nuclear arsenal. The SIPRI report claims that most of the 9 nuclear-armed nations continue to bolster their existing nuclear arsenals and simultaneously manufacture a fresh set of nuclear-capable weapon delivery systems, including ICBMs, aircraft, or nuclear submarines. The report said that global inventory as of January 2024 consists of 12,121 nuclear warheads. Out of these, an alarming 9,585 were in military stockpiles for potential use. An estimated 3,900 of those warheads were deployed on missiles or on aircraft. The number jumped from 2023, which was 60 warheads less. The remaining were in central storage. Now, this increase could be a direct impact of NATO's rising tensions with Russia and the threat of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. These nations reportedly spent a combined $91.4 billion on their nuclear arms, which breaks down to $173,844 per minute of spending. On one hand, the total number of nuclear warheads has declined since the Cold War era. On the other hand, there has been a concerning year-on-year increase in the number of operational nuclear warheads. So has it become significant for India to build up its own nuclear arsenal as it faces the threat of a two-front war from nuclear-armed China and Pakistan? Now, this includes an unstable Pakistan reeling under religious extremism and a dictatorial and expansionist state like China. This anti-India alliance remains the biggest security concern for the world's largest democracy. India's nuclear arsenal consists of maturing nuclear triad of aircrafts like Sukhoi 30 MKI, land-based missiles with MIRV like Agni-5, and nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines like INS Arihant. The Stockholm report suggests that India's stockpile of nuclear warheads increased from 164 last year to 172, a modest increase of 8 warheads. India reportedly continued to manufacture a new type of nuclear delivery system in 2023, in turn expanding its nuclear arsenal. Now, with an eye on Beijing, New Delhi is placing growing emphasis on longer-range weapons capable of reaching the power centers throughout China. The report stated, and I quote, "The country's recent moves towards placing missiles in canisters and conducting sea-based deterrence patrols suggest India could be shifting in the direction of mating some of its warheads with their launchers during peacetime," unquote. But is India's nuclear inventory enough to deter any attack from the Chinese PLA? Amid China's territorial expansion and maritime claims, it is also racking up its nuclear arsenal to a dangerously high level. Under Xi Jinping, Beijing's nuclear buildup is concerning, especially for India, which is locked in a border standoff ever since the Galwan Valley clashes in 2020, which resulted in loss of lives on both sides. China's surge has seen its stockpile grow to 500 warheads, up from 410 last year, a rise of 90 compared to India's 8. China has become the second largest spender on nuclear arms after the United States with a whopping $11.8 billion. This means China is expanding its nuclear arsenal faster than any other country in the world. The pace of this development is so high that the number of Chinese intercontinental ballistic missiles may exceed that of Russia and the United States in the coming decade. The current number of PLA ICBMs stands at 238. China has now begun to pair around 24 warheads corresponding to 1 missile brigade and 1 fully loaded ballistic missile submarine. This was after the country started placing solid fuel missiles in silos, conducting sea-based deterrence patrols, and potentially developing a worrisome launch on warning doctrine. The developments have triggered widespread questions about China's so-called no first use policy. SIPRI think tank report added, and I quote, "Since 2022, the US DoD or Department of Defense has assessed that China is implementing an early warning counter-strike strategy akin to LOW posture, using ground and space-based sensors to enable rapid launch of missiles before an adversary can destroy them." Unquote. China's launch on warning system may also be directed towards the United States in case US military comes to Taiwan's aid to foil any Chinese invasion. After the United States dropped atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, killing and maiming hundreds of thousands of people, their effects are still being felt today. After more than 3/4 of a century, the nuclear genie has escaped from the bottle to 9 other countries: Russia, France, the United Kingdom, China, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. All are now brandishing their own ultimate weapons of mass destruction. It's these biggest nuclear powers that have continuously undermined the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, using the security trump card. This implies that the nuclear arms race never ended in the first place, and any nuclear first strike would likely lead to a full-scale global nuclear war. However, the question remains, are nuclear weapons India's best deterrent in case of any two-front war against China and Pakistan? Leave a comment and subscribe to Inconnect News for daily updates on current affairs and geopolitics.